measurement handout. Let's go ahead and get started right away. Numbers 1 through 10, you were instructed to convert the degrees over to radians, and every one of these should have two answers, okay? So here we go. First of all, let's go ahead and always take the degrees and multiply it. Hold on 1 second, please. Let's fix that. There we go. Always take your degrees and multiply it by pi over 180, okay? So here we go. 32 times pi is 32 pi. 1 over 1 times 180 is 180. Now, you can use your calculator to reduce fractions, okay? So make sure you know how to do that with your ABC button or your fraction button on your calculator. Calculator is different if you're not sure how to do that. If you could email me a picture of your calculator, I will try to show you how to do that, okay? Alright, so if you reduce 32 over 180, you get 8 over 45. So 8 pi over 45 is one answer. And then the decimal answer is you take 8 times 3.14. And whatever you get, divide that by 45. And the decimal is 0.5582. Okay? So there we go. There's your two answers. So 32 degrees equals 8 pi over 45 radians, or 0.5582 radians. Number 2, put this over 1. Anytime you're converting from degrees to radians, you always multiply by pi over 180. Okay? 83 times pi would be 83 pi. 1 times 180 would be 180. Now let's type this into our calculator and see if it'll reduce it for us. And it does not. So this is reduced as far as it goes, okay? So there's one answer. Now, take 83 times 3.14. Enter. Divided by 180. Enter. And this is what you get in the decimal form. 1.447888. So 79. Okay? So 83 degrees is this, or this in radians. One is a decimal and one is in terms of pi. Okay? Both of these are the same, just written differently. Number 3, anytime you convert degrees to radians, you multiply the degrees by pi over 180. So 50 times pi would be 50 pi. 1 times 180 would be 180. Now let's reduce 50 over 180, and you get 5 pi over 18, okay? 10 went into both of these numbers, so 5 over 18. Now, this is a good answer, it's sufficient. This is radians, but now I want you also to write it in decimals. So 5 times 3.14 divided by 18 would give you 8.8722. Okay, so both of these are the same. They're both radians, just written in two forms. Alright, number 4, we're going to convert 120 degrees over to radians. Anytime you're converting degrees to radians, you multiply by pi over 180. Alright, so here we go. 120 times pi is 120 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. So now if we type this into our calculator and reduce it, we're going to get 2 pi over 3. That's one answer. That's in terms of pi. And now if we write that as decimal, 2 times 2.14 divided by 3 would give you 2.0933. And that is also in radians. Okay, moving on to number 5, we're going to convert 70 degrees over to radians. Anytime you're converting degrees over to radians, multiply by pi over 180. And so here we go. 70 times pi is 70 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. 10 will go into both of these numbers. So you're left with 7 pi over 180. Or excuse me, 7 pi over 18. So students, this answer here is in radians, 7 pi over 18. This is radians in terms of pi. Now if we're going to write it as a decimal, we're going to take 7 times 3.14, enter, divided by 18, enter, and this number here, in terms of a decimal, is 1.2211, okay? Alright, moving on to number 6. We're going to convert 22 degrees over to radians. Anytime you're converting from degrees to radians, you take the degrees times pi over 180. And here we go. 22 times pi is 22 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. Now let's reduce the fraction. 22 divided by 180, and you get 11 over 90, okay? So here is 22 degrees written as radians in terms of pi. Now if I want you to write that as a decimal, take 11 times 3.14, enter, divided by 90, enter, and you'll get this for the decimal form, 0.3838. Alright, moving on to number 7. We're going to convert 90 degrees to radians. Anytime you're converting degrees to radians, you multiply by pi over 180, okay? And so here we go. 90 times pi is 90 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. If you reduce this, you'll get 1 pi over 2, or just simply pi over 2. If you want to put the 1 here, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. So this is 90 degrees written as radians in terms of pi. Now, if you want that in a decimal, type in 3.14 divided by 2, and you'll get 1.57. Alright? And so there we go. Moving on to number 8. We're going to convert 45 degrees to radians. We're going to multiply by pi over 180 like you always should do when you're converting degrees to radians. And here's what you'll get. 45 times pi is 45 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. Now if you take 45 and you reduce that fraction, you're going to get 1/4, okay? So you can put pi over 4, because 45 goes into both these numbers. Okay, so you can put pi over 4, or you can put 1 pi over 4. It really doesn't matter, okay? But this here is 45 degrees in radians, written in terms of pi. If you want the decimal form of that, you take 3.14 and divide it by 4, and you're going to get 0.785, okay? Moving on to number 9, 35 degrees. We're going to multiply that by pi over 180 to convert it to radians, okay? 35 times pi is 35 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. Now with your calculator, type in 35 over 180 and reduce that, and you should get 7 over 36. So 5 goes into both of these, okay? So 7 pi over 36. So this is the same thing as 35 degrees, only it's written in terms of radians, in terms of pi. And now if you want the decimal equivalent, take 7 times 3.14, enter, divided by 36, enter, and you'll get 0.6106. Alright? Okay, number 10. We're going to convert this to radians. Anytime you're converting degrees to radians, you multiply the degrees by pi over 180. Go ahead and multiply. 80 times pi is 80 pi. 1 times 180 is 180. Cross off the zeros. 2 would go into both these. 2 would go into 8 4 times. 2 would go into 18 9 times. So 4 pi over 9. Okay? So 80 degrees in radians is 4 pi over 9. And that's in terms of pi. Now, if you want that in decimals, take 4 times 3.14, enter, divided by 9, enter, and you'll get 0.1415, okay? So the first for the first 10 problems, we have been converting degrees to radians. Now for the next 10, we're going to convert radians to degrees, okay? Anytime you convert radians to degrees, you multiply by 180 over pi, okay? So your pi's will cancel, and then 5 times 180 would be 900. 2 times 1 would be 2, and 900 divided by 2 is 450. So there we go. 5 pi over 2 is 450 degrees. Okay? cancel. 2 times 180 is 360 over 7. Okay. I don't think that can be reduced. So that is your answer. 360 over 7 degrees, or if you want that as a decimal, it would be 51. 360 divided by 7 would be 51.43. Okay, moving on to number 13. We're going to convert radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you're going to want to multiply by 180 over pi. Your pi's will cancel. 8 times 180 is going to give you 1,440, and 5 times 1 is 5. 1,440 divided by 5 will give you 288 degrees. 288 degrees. Alright. Okay, number 14. We're going to convert radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you're going to multiply 180. You're going to multiply by 180 over pi. Here your pi's cancel. So we have 3 times 180, which is 540. And then 10 times 1, which is 10. And if you reduce that, you will get 54. 54 degrees. So 3 pi over 10 is 54 degrees. Moving on to number 15, we're going to convert this radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you multiply the given radian by 180 over by pi over 180. Excuse me, that's incorrect. 180 over pi. Your pi's would cancel here. And if you wanted to, we haven't done this a whole lot, but if you wanted to, we could also cancel the 3 and the 180 here and get a 60. Okay. And then, of course, you're left with 7 right here. So 7 times 60 is 420. And 1 times 1 is just 1. So 420 degrees. If you want to put it over 1, I have no problem with that. Okay. All right, let's move on now to number 16. Number 16. We're going to convert radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you multiply by 180 over pi. Your pi would cancel with your pi. Your 5 would cancel into your 180. 36 times, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, 36 times. So we have 12 times 36, which should be 432 over 1. So 432 degrees. Okay. All right, moving on to number 17. Okay, students, moving on. Number 17, we're going to convert this radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you're going to multiply by pi, or excuse me, 180 over pi. Now, your pi's will cancel. And notice in the past couple problems, when I first started doing these, I would take 4 times 180 and get what? 720. 9 times 1 is 9. Then the past couple problems, I was cross-canceling. I did that so you can see that you can really do it either way. You can cross-cancel if you want. 9 goes into 180 20 times. Or you don't have to do that. You can take 4 times 180 and take 9 times 1 and get 720 over 9. And then reduce that and you'll still get the same answer. Okay? So either way is fine. 9 goes into 180 20 times. 4 times 20 is 80. 1 times 1 is 1. 80 over 1 is 80 degrees. Okay, number 17. We're going to convert these radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you're going to multiply by 180 over pi. Your pi cancels with your pi. Alright, 6 times 180 is 1,080. And squeeze a 0 in there, 1,080. And 7 times 1 is 7. Alright, now let's see if that can be reduced. And it cannot be reduced. So this is your answer in degrees, or if you want the decimal equivalent, which is fine, I don't mind either answer, 154.29 degrees. Okay, moving on to number 19. We're going to convert these radians to degrees. Anytime you do that, you multiply by 180 over pi. Your pi cancels with your pi. 9 times 180 would be 1,080 3,620. And 4 times 1 would be 4. And now we'll divide that out. 1620 divided by 4 actually comes out even, and you get 405 degrees. Okay, so 9 pi over 4 radians is the same thing as 405 degrees. Alright, number 20, we're going to convert these radians to degrees. Whenever we do that, we multiply by 180 over pi. Your pi cancels with your pi. Your 2 would cancel into your 180 90 times, and 3 times 90 would be 270 degrees over 1, and you really don't need that, okay? So 3 pi over 2 in radians is the same thing as 270 degrees,